So, how many of you guys have never been here before? Is this your first time here? All right, nice. Welcome. Y'all are going to love it. I'm very southern today. I had some biscuits, so forgive the y'alls and the assorted apostrophes. If you did not get coffee before, we have a fresh delivery of cups, thanks to our co-organizer, Marianne Bowers. Thank you, Marianne. The coffee was provided by our friends at Cow, but delivered by our co-organizer, Danielle Whitelaw. Thank you, Danielle. Visiting from Kansas City, bringing the winter spirit with him, is our co-organizer, Richard Wood. My name is Sean Kennedy. I'm here representing in spirit Ruben Pressman and John Morrow, who are sending us their good energies and vibrations from their beds, probably. So, 1 million cups, what we do here. You'll see 2 startups from the community that come up here to tell you guys what they're building here in Tampa Bay, what exciting things are going on. They have 6 minutes. They're going to present to you what they're working on, and the onus is on you to carry us for the next 20 minutes. If you guys don't have any great questions, it gets really boring. So think in your mind, how could you guys help them? But more importantly, think about your Rolodexes. We all have incredible networks of connections. And companies need customers, companies need employees, companies need lots of things. And this is your opportunity to help grow great things here in Tampa Bay. So we really appreciate that. I do want to make an announcement. We have a visiting dignitary with us today, the new CEO of the Tampa Bay Technology Forum, Mr. Daniel James Scott. Congratulations. And we are honored to have you here. Thank you for making time. 2 great startups today. You have probably seen this funky stuff around to keep your iPad and iPhone from whacking you in the head as you try and read or on your desk. Let's hear a little bit about that.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Great, yes.
Come on.
Good morning, Tampa Bay.
Good morning.
My name is Roseanne Clemente, and I'm the developer of PadGoRound. About 3 years ago, I won a Kindle in a raffle. For $16, I had the privilege of taking home a device I never wanted and I swore I'd never use. Well, I downloaded a book that night because, you know, it's an electronic gadget, it's mine. I downloaded a book and I've been hooked ever since. So I've read more on my Kindle and my mini iPad in the last 3 years than I had read in the previous 20. But the first thing I noticed was that how difficult it was to hold the tablet. There's very little margin on the face of the tablet to put your thumb. I was constantly changing the page or changing the chapter. I spent more time trying to find where I was than I was reading my book. Tablets are not designed for our hands, and it's a recognized problem because there are a lot of devices out there to put your tablet in, especially folio covers. That's the first thing I did. I bought a folio cover to see if that solved my problem, but it didn't. It just added weight. So the light bulb went off in my head. I'm going to scour the internet. Isn't that what you do when you want to buy a product? I scoured the internet looking for something to put handles on the Kindle because I wanted more surface area to put my hands and to get my hands off the face of the tablet. And I couldn't find anything. I found a lot of mounts. I found a lot of holders. I found suction cup mounts. I found stands. But I didn't find anything that put handles on. So I decided I'm going to put handles. I'm going to develop a device to put handles on tablets. Now recently a product has come to market that has put 4 handles on it, but I'm convinced and I know that the PadGoRound is going to be much superior to that. So this is the face and the back of it, because if you're in the back of the room you won't be able to see that well. This is the PadGoRound. It has 4 handles. The product will be, this is 3D printed, the product will be made of lightweight ABS plastic. It'll have 4 handles. Each handle has a channel down the center so that you can access a charging port on the Apple products. But I don't want you to think that this was made for Apple products. It wasn't. It was originally designed for my Kindle. But we discovered that we don't want to block anything. It doesn't block the video or your camera lens or the speakers. The handles slide in on a base and are tightened down by a specially designed thumb nut for this device. There are 4 legs on the bottom of the PadGoRound so that you can elevate your tablet off the surface so that if somebody spills something, your tablet doesn't get wet. There are loops on every four corner of the PadGoRound so that if you need to go hands-free or you want to protect it for your child using it and you don't want them to drop it, you can put a lanyard on it with your favorite team or your company logo. The other neat feature about the PadGoRound is the 1/4-20 insert that's on the back. This allows you and me to put anything on the back of the PadGoRound that will attach to a camera, because all cameras have the same thread on the bottom, regardless of where they've been manufactured. And as you can see on the table here, I have some of the toys I've purchased and used with my PadGoRound. This is a working prototype, although it is somewhat fragile. So the beauty of this product is that we can customize it. We can customize the colors that we manufactured in. You can customize the device yourself, because if you don't want 4 handles, we also produce the clamps without handles. So I can market it with 4 clamps and 4 handles, so you decide how you want to use the PadGoRound. My son's already told me he only wants 1 handle because he'll just flip the device from one hand to the other. The other feature is that I look forward to customizing the product for different markets. So I painted a couple of old handles, Go Bulls. And that's why I'm wearing the Bulls lanyard too. And finally, the other customization is I look forward, and I already have ideas of products I want to design as an accessory to go and make it easier to use the PadGoRound, because we're all fidgeting. We fidget, we're fickle, we want different things. These are some of the multiple applications that we're just discovering for the PadGoRound. Casual reading, you can set it up on this tabletop tripod, like you can see the iPad right there, put it in the kitchen to read a recipe, you can put it on your lawn chair and take it to the beach or at the pool. You can go in planes, trains, and automobiles with this product. There's the tray table. It's great for elderly. It gives them a much more surface area to hold a tablet, and you can also mount it with this device right here on a wheelchair. Track coach was videoing his athletes so that he could show them on the iPad how they did, his critiquing. You can also set it up on this tabletop tripod at the end of the pool, so you can see how you're doing when you're doing your laps. Where are we? We have 2 working prototypes for the iPad size and for the Kindle and Mini. We had successful feedback at the Maker Fair in Orlando. I had great feedback yesterday at the Tampa Bay Business Symposium. I'm beginning my social media campaign right now to work on a Kickstarter campaign. So the PadGoRound is for users of all ages from 3 to 83. I want to put a new face on electronic tablets. So Tampa Bay, get your hands on tablets. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Roseanne, so we were just talking before. So I think it's a cool product, but I wonder if it all comes to, when you're bringing a product to market, who's going to buy it, how much they're really willing to pay for it. And we talked about moving into injection molding for production processes. I wonder if you might want to think about an intermediate step where you print a simplified version that brings your 3D printing costs down, that you could actually afford to sell it, maybe not make a lot of money, but do a little test marketing to see what people are willing to pay for it before you invest your sizable amount into injection molding molds.
Well, thank you for that suggestion. I hadn't thought of it, so I would have to go back to the CAD designer, go back to the drawing board to see.
Simplify, and make it cheap and producible on 3D printing.
One of the problems is that it has to be really strong 3D printing process, because the tablets are heavy. Even this Kindle is heavy. So I've already gone through several handles. The bases are holding up well in 3D printing, but the handles are not. I think over time, I don't know if the material dries out and gets more brittle, but the handles are just not holding up. But that's a great suggestion.
There's lots of materials, so
right.
The materials are amazing as out there.
So we need your business card then. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
How much are you asking for in the Kickstarter campaign?
I'm looking to start at about $60,000.
Okay.
That'll make my molds and at least give me enough money to do a 5,000 unit run.
Have you filed any patents on your design?
Yes, thank you for asking. It was on the first slide. Yes, the utility patent was filed on July 28th. I know that date like I know my son's birthday. And we just got our first round of questions. My attorney says he believes that a utility patent really will be issued very soon, which is a miracle for a utility patent. I've heard that it could take 1.5 years to 2 years. So, but there is a process now where if you're a low income person, you make less than $250,000. That's low income. They accelerate it for you. I guess they're trying to encourage entrepreneurs to patent their products, so they're accelerating it for us low income folks.
Have you thought about using those as a platform for add-on accessories?
Add-ons.
Yeah, like when I saw it, the first thing I thought was you can have little speakers in all 4 handles and a small speaker in the back and turn it into a surround sound system.
Yes, I have thought of that. And those are some of the accessories and things I thought about. I know that there's a device where it's just a little tab that you can put on your phone. I saw it marketed on Indiegogo or Kickstarter, where you can actually go to different apps on your phone without actually touching the face by hitting a little pad on the back. So that would be something in the future to try to team up with somebody to add those features to put on the handles. But there is an opportunity to team up with other industries. We just met some people in the food bit that market the squares or the credit card swipes for restaurants. And so wait staff are going to be going to iPads and mini iPads. So they were enamored. They just fell in love with it. They wanted to help, do a synergy and market the 2 products together.
I think you have a great candidate for a Kickstarter. Have you thought about doing crowdfunding?
Yeah, this whole I'm starting this whole social media thing right now because I was told you need at least a good 3 or 4 months of social media and buzz before you should go try to crowdfund. So this is the beginning of that process.
Well, what you need is really a great video.
Right.
So, and as much demo on your product as you can do.
Well, that's when I brought all my toys. Yeah.
What's your projected cost per piece and at now and when you scale, what do you think is the profit?
You mean the production cost or?
Production, the profit margins and the selling price?
Right now, it's about $10 if I make the product locally. I can't get it below 10. So originally my first thought was $39.99. I got some advice today that maybe I ought to go to $29.99 because people are not likely to return it if it's just a $29 product. So again, and the molds only last 100,000 runs. So if you go over 100,000, you've got to pay that start. But by that point, I prayed that was no problem. But I never knew that the molds only last for like 100,000 runs, and then you're making molds again.
I was going to ask the same question but that added on to that, what is one? Yes, you're right. We did a very successful Kickstarter. Start immediately, hit all the blogs that you think, get their buzz around to start you up, and it will really help push along your Kickstarter or Indiegogo. But what are your competitors charging for the pieces that you say? Those ones with the little handles that you don't think are good enough, or yours is going to be better. But what are they asking for?
They show it listed at like $39, but then they show it slashed, and I think they're selling it for about $17. It has a very small handle on the side of it that has a little stand on each handle that kicks out so you can set it down. Go ahead.
Have you bought one?
No, I just thought about that last night. I need to go ahead and buy one.
Yeah.
The other thing is it's your polyurethane or some elastic product that stretches and then clamps on the iPad, and it only gives you this place to stick your 2 fingers in the back to hold it from the back. So I feel very confident that the PadGoRound is much more versatile than that product, but I am going to buy one today. Oh, I forgot to tell you thing. Yes, sir.
Just a little feedback. I'm going to tell you, I love your product, but I've also bought 2 products that are like this, and both of them had the same problem, and that's the swing out handles continuously broke. One company replaced it for me twice. I originally bought it through Groupon, and I think I paid $24 for it with a $39 original price. But the handles kept breaking, which is kind of interesting that you already have the foresight that may be an issue. And then eventually the company said to me on the second round, they said, you know what, just discontinue the product. So
several people have asked me, why don't I do swing on handles? Well, that adds another part, and it adds a place for the This is not designed to swing out. It is what it is. Some people say, well, it's very bulky. Well, I'm looking for comfort and utility. well, how do you carry it around? Well, I carry it around in a little case that I bought from Best Buy that this fits in. So when I put my Kindle in it, I don't take it out. I love this product so much that I leave my Kindle in it and I just put it in a case big enough to hold it. But the beauty of the versatility is if the handles become a problem or you don't need 4 of them, then we offer an alternative that doesn't put that bulky handle up there if that's an issue.
So what is your manufacturing strategy for this?
My manufacturing
A high
strategy.
distribution strategy.
That's a good question. I don't have. Well, my first thought was to sell on the internet.
Right.
Now I'm learning of some industries where I might even be able to partner with them and then have my product sold when they're selling their services.
Right.
So right now, as of yesterday, things are starting to not explode, but take off in directions I didn't think I was going to go.
But you know what, after the meeting, you look me up, I'm gonna give you my card, and I'll
Okay.
connect you with a company out in Melbourne, who is on my show and a personal friend today.
Okay.
Who, his entire strategy is to retain manufacturing in America, more specifically in Florida, and provide you with both manufacturing and distribution facilities.
Well, that's my goal is to,
And-
we have several plastics.
And uses Kickstarter as a funding platform. His last, he's done 108 products, and his last offering oversold on Kickstarter. So,
Right,
yeah.
that
Yeah.
would be the dream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I have a question with your handles. I bought my mother a tablet last year, but she has very severe neuropathy, so it's hard for her to hold it. Can they just set in their thumbs as well, by the way you have it designed? Like in between the...
Yes. You mean like that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
you
that.
can hold it, you can hold it like that.
Because she can't grasp
Right.
things, that's the
You-
difficult
right.
part.
Yeah, she can hold it like that. I've often read in bed holding it like this. I'm a fidgeter when I read, and it's not because the handles are comfortable, I just fidget, but sometimes I turn it up and hold it like that between my thumb.
But what I'm saying is, somebody with severe neuropathy
Right.
can't grasp.
Right.
So that's another selling point of the way your handles are designed.
Okay. Great. Yes, sir.
Every new device that comes out, every Kindle, Fire, Paperwhite, Nook, iPad mini, iPad, slightly different size, slightly different configuration. I mean, how much do you have to retool for each new tablet?
We thought about that because the handle was designed for the Kindle, which is thicker than the iPad mini. So we could put in each product these foam strips. There's a channel, a little spot on each handle to accommodate, to show you where to put the foam strip. So there's two or three different sizes foams that you could put on the handle, and then that it accommodates the different products. Or if it becomes that significant of an issue, it's very easy to go ahead and redesign the handle.
But the base part that holds the unit, if they move the camera or the volume buttons or
Well, right now, it doesn't look like those things are moving. Somebody asked me, what if they made the tablets circular? What was I gonna do? What if, I may not be an electronics expert, but I don't think anybody's going to make a circular tablet. Right now, it seems like the lenses are always up in a corner. And if that's the case, the base is always out of the way. Yes, sir.
Seems like for reading, I don't read on my tablet, but it seems like you would only need 2 handles.
Correct.
Might make more sense to sell like your base product with the 2 handles and not even show it with the 4. So now with the 4, it looks like really bulky. I travel a lot, you can't see probably all 4 handles.
Right.
But if you sold it with just 2, it still gives you a way to hold it, and then you could sell 2 additional handles for, $9.99 more.
Uh-huh.
So then that way you get your $29.99 base product plus $9.99 for the additional 2 handles.
Okay,
You still
that's a
have
great
your
idea.
40, but then it seems smaller and easier to handle.
Well, and again, that's why going with the marketing strategy, putting the clamps in that don't have handles so that you can customize it. But the handle does make it also gives you another base when you're setting it up on a tabletop tripod. But again, this product, I'm customizing it for myself and you customize it for yourself. But that's a great idea, just market with 2 handles.
Try
Right.
test market with 4 and with 2 and show it to people and see when you do go to do your Kickstarter and you have that
Right.
video, what do people want more and what do you want to leave with and
Right.
so.
How easy or difficult is it to, take it off of one device and move it to another? Like, for example, if I want to use it on my iPad, but then say my child wants to borrow it to use with his or whatever.
It's very it off. You really only have to take 2 handles off, or at least 2 handles there to slide the device out, and then I'll show you what it looks like without the, these are aluminum, little aluminum plates, they're custom machined for this, and then it has a threaded stud on it that goes to the back, that the thumb nut has a little nut to tighten it down. So it's very easy, and the product is very lightweight, at least as a 3D printed. I know the ABS will be even that much lighter, so it's very easy to take it off. But the problem with the 3D printed, and I can't tell you how many times, they just don't hold up, but it'll be very, very easy to operate. One of the things I want to show you is that I handed this to my 3-year-old grandson. He'd never seen this device. He immediately picked it up and knew exactly what to do with it. At 3 years old, he's already surfing YouTube, looking for videos of banjo and guitar players. So he said, I want to find the banjo video, and so I handed this to him, and he went right to YouTube, was looking for his video, and was tremendously comfortable with it. I started crying, I couldn't believe it.
I just wanted to add to the 2-handle concept. I think he's got, he's on the right track. I think also if you had a little trigger on one of the handles that allowed you to pull it and it unlocked the back where you can rotate the screen with the other hand. So that way you can actually, if you wanted to have only 2 handles but want to change the direction of the iPad, you could still have one hand holding the handle, unlocking it, and then the other hand rotating the screen itself. So you'd have to have some type of...
Because it's your screens are 360, you don't really need to rotate the device in it, you just...
But that's what I'm saying. If you only have 2 handles on it and you want to keep holding it this way, but you want your screen to go from, landscape to,
I got you.
to horizontal, and you want to still hold it on the side, then just having a little release trigger on one of the handles, simple latch to unlock maybe some type of spring-loaded pivot on the back, that way you can move it. But I think that'd be a great selling point.
Why do your users end at 83? I think
she's actually 87, but it rhymes 3 to 83.
I'm thinking you need to bump it to 93. I'm thinking you need to bump it to 93 because you're cutting out.
It's for users of any age, of any occupation. Swimming laps at the pool, reading a recipe, it's for anybody and everybody.
I mean, pretty soon you're cutting JJ out of the
A cover for the back?
Yeah.
No, because it has the legs to stand it on the table. So I hadn't thought about a cover for the back. But it's something to think about.
Given the grooves on the handles and sides and things like that, do you think there's a simple way to complement this product with something, the attachments you can put on the wall with 3M base that are very easy to peel off if you want to hang a picture or something like that? Is there something strong enough that could bracket the handle so if I want to work in the kitchen, I'm cooking and I want to use my iPad, you can pop it up on a cabinet and attach it to that?
Well, you could use part of the lanyard to hang it on the cabinet if you wanted it up higher. Yeah, something could attach, but then it's going to be at an angle and have to go from the 2 corners. Like a picture hanger. Yeah, there's a way to do that.
The tripod works great on the counter.
It works great on the counter, but if you want it up higher, well, you could always use a tabletop tripod and bring it up higher. So
It's a very limited kitchen space.
Oh, okay. Well, we could, again, it's something you can customize yourself because the loops are back there on the back of the base.
Well, he raised an interesting idea, maybe you have additional handle designs that have different functionality, like ones for hanging on a hook or one for even.
Well, let me tell you about injection molding. The handles have to be hollow because it won't cool. The handle is already hollow. You could actually, if there was a nail or a hook on the cabinet, you could actually hang this handle right there, right now. Because there's room in the back.
Maybe a little bit of stuff.
Okay. Well, that is a good thought about coming up with alternative handles so that you could hang it up. And it wouldn't have to necessarily be a handle. It could just be a form of this clamp that would have a loop on it. That would, so that would be another, what, $9.99? Should we just do $4.99?
Lots of line extensions.
Right.
Well, thank you for the wonderful, great idea.
It would just be a hole in the existing handle.
Right, that's true, it could be.
That's easy.
Mhm.
You've got this one on the tripod. Have you thought about integrating the third leg into the unit itself? So that it's sort of all in there?
No, to keep it light and to have as few moving parts on the product as possible. There's so many accessories on the market now that you could buy third party. This tabletop tripod was $3 or $4. The camera handle was $2. I mean, there's so many products that are cheap out there. I wanted to keep my production costs. Is it time?
How can we?
How did I know that? How can you can get involved, help me create a national buzz. I just don't want a Florida buzz. I need a national buzz on this product. Get the word out that you saw this incredible product, better than peanut butter jelly, and keep an eye out for me on the Kickstarter campaign. Now, I have a question for you. Do you think you're getting the maximum utility and versatility out of your tablet? And I'll tell you, you will with PadGoRound.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to our 1 million cups session part of the day. As I mentioned last week, we have Kobe Marketing that is here today. They are working with the Greenhouse and the Chamber on a food drive for the St. Pete Free Clinic. And it's for the holidays, so there's bin outside, and I think they'll be a bin here in 2 weeks. Sure. All right, great. Because it won't be here next week, because we won't be here next week. So there's a little plug and a little reminder that if you show up next week, you're going to be alone. And there will not be free cow coffee. So with that, we have, this is Global Entrepreneurship Week. So who in the room knew that it's Global Entrepreneurship Week? All right, great. That means there are activities all over the community. It started last weekend with Startup Weekend, and it continues all the way through with Friday.
You didn't have Startup Weekend's winner right here.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I won it.
Yay!
Last night I submitted my video for the Global Startup Battle.
Great.
The Global Startup Battle, like the name says.
And in a few weeks, he'll be up here with that presentation.
Yeah.
All right, good. These are a couple of the events that are still going on this week and some coming up next week as well. Startup Quest Pitch Contest is today at the Safety Harbor Spa. And that's a 10-week session. I know they've presented up here in the past. If you're interested in seeing what kind of technologies they've been working on business plans for that are within the universities and research labs, they'll be presenting at
from 1 to 4, there will be a 12 to 1, a kind of milling it out the event.
All right, the 1 to 4 stay at Safety Harbor Spa. Startup Grind host Ian Ippolito. That is tomorrow evening, I believe. It is on, I know it's on our Facebook page, it's on Tampa Bay 620's Facebook page, it's on Tampa Bay Waves Facebook page. So if you do want more information about Ian Ippolito and what he'll be talking about, you can find it on Facebook. Tampa Bay Wave is doing Pitching 201 tomorrow. If you want more questions, all right, if you want more information after today. Friday is free co-working day at Tech Garage. So that is 2 blocks down at 244 2nd Avenue Northeast in the St. Petersburg College downtown campus. So 9 to 4 free co-working. We always have coffee, so if you're a little bit down between Wednesday and 2 weeks from now, come by and get some kawa. And November 28th is open pitch night at Geekend. And who has information?
Doors open at 5, pitching begins at 6.
Doors open at 5, pitching begins at 6. If you're, sorry?
Where is that?
Wait.
It is accurate.
All right, well, all of this information that we have on here, we also send out in our email later in the week that Carly puts together that sums up what our presenters tell you, talk about what they need from the community, and has links to all the upcoming events. If you're not getting that email, we do have a sign-up sheet back by the door, so please go ahead and put your email address on there. We do 2 emails a week, one on Tuesday telling you who's here on Wednesday, one at the end of the week telling you who was here on Wednesday, what they had to say. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Make Yes Happen.
Good morning, how's everyone doing this morning? Excellent. My name is Kevin Tracy, this is my partner Scott Parker, and we're both with Make Yes Happen. One of the problems that we have seen is actually the sports industry, and more specifically the cycling, endurance running, active sports related industries have no stadium. It is arguably the largest, the most sought after demographic in the world. Some of the people, the participants are among the highest wage earners that are out there, and they have no home. They have no place to go and no place to connect except for the traditional social media networks. So our goal as a company is essentially 3 things. We are an online network, so our goal is to drive membership to Make Yes Happen. We have proprietary products, and we want to develop transactional business and drive business to those products, and we want to get the brand out there. Yes is a fantastic brand. It is that moment when you have your arms in the air, you're crossing the finish line, you get on one knee. Yes, it is the most powerful moment in sports, period. You'll see it all the time. You'll see Rafael Nadal do it, you'll see Tiger Woods do it. It is absolutely amazing. So, we have essentially 3 targets that you will look at as part of our organization. The 3 targets are nonprofit organizations, events themselves, and participants. Why nonprofits? Nonprofits arguably are the reason for the explosion. 5Ks, half marathons, marathons. Over 90% of all events that are out there benefit a nonprofit in some way, shape, or form. Either they own the event or they're the recipient of funds from the event. So we have built the only endurance-specific fundraising platform for them. It has features and benefits that nobody else has. We give it to them for free. We make money, but we give it to them for free. So the next way that we go after and help nonprofits is by gamifying fitness in our challenges. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. Events, we've created a proprietary race day experience, that we call it. It's a photo distribution service. We're disrupting the entire, I would say, photography industry around photos. Typically an event photo, if you guys have participated, will be $30, $40, $50, $60 for a participant. We walk in there, we pay for the event for photography out of our pocket, and we hand the photos out to the participants for absolutely free. We have a proprietary event search. We have hooked to the top 4 race registration platforms that are out there. We feed all of their events into our system. So you can look for an event that's benefiting a cancer organization. Or you can look for an event that's in your neighborhood. Or you want to run a half marathon, or a marathon, or a 5K. You want to participate in a cycling event. We are the one-stop shop to search for that. We have a social network. So we have the ability to set up social groups. So your local running club can set up a team or a social group on our page, and they can interact with each other. And then last is community and clubs. So here's the opportunity landscape, and underneath you will see our products that we provide. There are over 54 million core participants. That's people that have run about 6 to 8 miles, or 6 to 8 times per month, or participated in events. As I mentioned, to put that into perspective, about 22 million people watched an NFL game last year. So this is an enormous industry. And they're participants. They buy the gear, they buy the shoes, they buy the watches. They are one of the best demographics. They are very, very passionate. Highly engaged. Highly engaged. So we have the products for those is the finish line experience with the photos that I mentioned, an activity feed, peer-to-peer, peer group communication, a calendar, a common calendar, communications, and then device integrations. We hook to Garmin, Runkeeper, Fitbit. We are adding devices on all the time. MapMyFitness, our developer Andrew Grubbs is in the room one day. There he is in the back. Most awesome at Zinzio, awesome team that's out there. And they help us develop basically this entire platform. The next is fundraisers. There are 2 to 3 million fundraisers that fundraise for a cause every single year. The next one is challenges in coaching and our dashboard.
Challenges are current, then we label future. We are big idea guys, we tend to be, and we think there's a correlation in the space with simple tweaks to develop a few other models off of the existing platform.
Good. So show me the money. How do we make money? Challenges today, media opportunity with the photo distribution service, nonprofit, coaching, corporate wellness, paths, and club management. I'm running out of time. This is our fundraising page. I told you we make about 75 cents per transaction on the fundraising, and I'll answer that in Q&A. This is a show of our challenges, and we'll move back to this in a second. This is our free photo distribution service that we provide to events. They can search, people can search for their photos and then share it with about 200 different social medias. And then we have our ecosystem. Everything, once we get the participants in, everything to keep them on the platform itself. So I'll get into this in the Q&A about what we need. So with that, let's start with questions.
Yeah, so what is the core service you do? I know you say you do challenges and photos, and I saw in there you do crowdfunding as well?
Yes, yes. We have.
So like what is, when you say one thing that you do, what is it?
Fundraising is a big aspect, and that is connecting with the nonprofits. Fundraising actually makes us money. We next year, our projected revenue for next year is pretty solid. But fundraising is a big aspect of that, and challenges actually moves into that. Challenges, Scott can move back to the challenge screen. This is one of the most innovative ways. This is, you connect your Runkeeper, your wearable device, and we built out the Florida Keys Challenger. So what happens is, you hook up your wearable device and you go out and run. Is anybody familiar with virtual runs? Okay, so you hook up your device and you go out and run. You go run a 5-mile trip outside your house. It's going to show you as you move along the path. And every time you finish your workout, your device automatically uploads. It will email you a Google Street View of where you are on that virtual challenge. This is really amazing where this can go. We can get into relays with fundraising. We can get into calorie and distance-based challenges. You can get into elevation challenges. Literally, we are limited by our imagination where we can go with this.
And if I may, to speak a little more direct to that question, the original concept behind our company was to enable nonprofits with unique tools, mainly around endurance sports, to elevate their fundraising and simplify it in ways. So these are all just kind of offshoots, I guess, of that original core model. Some of them built to simply sustain us, whether it be through viral marketing or transactional revenue.
So it's a nonprofit fitness ecosystem you're trying to build?
You got it. Yes, sir.
How do you connect with the charity CRM platforms like Blackbaud, and I'm sure there are others?
You know what? We've leveled the playing field by providing it for free. We are in some major nonprofits. Why do you want to build your own platform, or why do you want to have go out and build your $200,000 or $300,000 platform when you can use ours for absolutely nothing? We get that. We get that quite a bit. Well, I've invested money into Blackbaud. We give it all to you. We have 100% platform built for endurance sports, and it's free for you to use.
Do you not take CRM platform?
No. So you can take that, but going further against a CrowdRise or a First Giving or any of the other crowdfunding platforms that exist out there, they can't beat us. They can't beat us on price. We're not in it to make a whole lot of money, although, like I said, we make about 75 cents per transaction. They typically take anywhere from 5 to as high as 20% of the nonprofit's donations. I had a conversation with a nonprofit last week. that spent about $80,000 in their fundraising just around the Chicago Marathon. That was one nonprofit. We can save them that money. They bring us users to our platform, and then they stay on the system long after the fundraising is over. Any more questions? Yes, ma'am.
Did I miss it? As a user, do I pay you?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am. We're going to get into club management in the future, where clubs will pay us a registration fee to manage their clubs. There's a lot of ways for us to make money. The media opportunity around the photo alone, the photo results was huge. We did our first event last week. There were about 700 participants in the event. Out of that event itself, we got 400 new users, and we got over 14,000 new pages. So it is a viral marketing event. So we go to the event and we say, hey, provide free photos. Don't charge people anymore. Provide free photos. And we'll slap your logo on it. We'll slap your sponsor's logo on it. And people can share them out there for free.
Yeah, the unique element of that as well is while we hoped for good return on that investment with the event director, we didn't expect, nearly, well, actually, I think we've exceeded 50% now. We're knocking on 400 new accounts. And, but it was interesting that obviously we were able to leverage other social media efforts because the core was around that event. But there's probably about 15% of those new accounts are scattered from Maine to Washington to Oregon. It is really interesting to see how that virility came into play. And we had hoped for, but seeing it come to fruition in that first event was certainly rewarding.
Yes, sir.
So what is your revenue model? Where do you expect to be the primary sources of revenue for services?
Basically, we make about 20 cents per transaction on fundraising right out of the gate.